Abort raid, a new civilian ability. Assemble your faction, put your red energy on standby and slot up on those cat's eye jewels to get ready for some fast and furious raiding. A new civilian ability has been released on Earth2, the raid abort. Unlocking this new ability provides the raid commander with the option to abort an ongoing raid when the sidroid is in the scanning phase, or as Earth2 players like to refer to as the dreaded This new ability will provide situations where a player can cut down scouting time for good raid targets from 10 in 10 days to 10 in 10 minutes. It is a game changer for the speculative raider searching for their next set of targets. How do I unlock this new abort ability? In order to unlock this ability, players first need to ensure that all civilians in their raid team at that specific mentor are from the same faction. For example, the raid commander, Ether Reckoner, and Sidroid Technician must be from the same faction. Depending on the faction, the ability to abort raids will unlock when the raid commander reaches level 3, Space Force, level 2, Rebels, or even as early as level 1, Egyptian. Next, the player will need to infuse red energy into the raid commander, and it is this step that will then unlock the ability for the raid commander to recall their raiding sidroids at any point in the raiding process. The sidroid will immediately stop scanning and return home, after which it will be ready for the next command. Where can I use the abort raid ability? Aborting a raid can be done through the raid panel or through the raid commander's ability menu in civilian management. The icons shown in the raid panel will now help easily identify whether or not aborting a raid is possible. When the sidroid icon, civilian icon, and raid tab appear in yellow, this means the raid team's faction matches and is complete. However, there is no red energy infused in the raid commander and therefore no raid aborts available. This may be due to the raid commander or team lacking experience or because they are not infused yet. If raid aborts are available, these icons will appear in green, which lets you know the raid team on this mentor is ready to abort raids on command. What are some possible strategies? Without the abort raid option, raids can often get stuck in the scanning phase for up to a full day depending on when the raid was launched. The sidroid remains in the indeterminate scanning phase until it determines whether the ether will become unstable or not. There are many different possible strategies, but here are the steps to one that may work for some players. Find a location with a lot of properties, or a few isolated medium-sized properties, and a reasonable new tile price. Purchase a 4-tile property and build a sidroid, or buy one from the bazaar. To save time waiting for the sidroid to hit its target and return, we recommend to load up your sidroid's slots with cat's eye jewels. Even cracked cat's eye jewels can speed up the sidroid's traveling speed significantly. Ensure you have 3 matching civilians, same faction, and infuse some red energy, which is earned on each successful raid if you don't have enough already. Infuse some red energy into your raid commander from the raid menu or the ability menu in civilian management. Start targeting the larger properties closest to you and watch the raiding timer so you can see when your sidroid arrives at the raid target and whether it gets stuck or not. If the sidroid gets stuck scanning, the abort raid ability can be used. Remember to mark the property you just targeted with a favorite icon, like a white heart, so you know there was no unstable either immediately available, but it might have some later. Keep repeating steps 6 and 7 to get through your list and identify the best targets near you. If you have a good feeling about your raiding location, then maybe buy a 10-tile or 30-tile property there to tether 2-3 sidroids, converting to auto-raid with your civilians once your scouting is done. Remember, if the sidroid returns immediately, then that means there was not even any stable ether detected. If it gets stuck scanning, that means your sidroid has detected stable ether, so your sidroid will wait on the property until it becomes unstable. However, during this time, the owner could claim the stable ether at any time, and your sidroid might still miss out and return without either. This is when the abort raid ability is key. What happens to the aborts if I sell my raid commander? Although unlocked by having a full team of civilians from the same faction, the abort raid ability is inherently tied to the raid commander. If a player sells or purchases a property with a raid commander or sells the raid commander via the bazaar, all infused raid aborts will be included in the sale and transfers with the raid commander to the new owner. What happens to the aborts if I sell my other civilians? The raid commander always needs to be part of a full raid team of the same faction. If one or more of its fellow raid team civilians are sold, these civilians will need to be replaced in order for the raid abort ability to become usable again. What happens when I purchase a raid commander with infused raid aborts? If you purchase a raid commander and send it to a property that does not have civilians of a matching faction, the raid commander will retain its raid aborts, but they will not be usable until the raid commander is joined by other civilians from the same faction. This can be done by synthesizing or purchasing the Ether Reckoner and Sidroid Technician from the same faction, or selling the raid commander and purchasing one from the faction that matches the existing civilians on your property.